I should say me and my wife have been together for about 6 years. Along the way, we've had like she's fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love being with her, but we've had like lack of sexual intimacy along the
Mm.
relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of been a big deal.
Sure.
Um, and so, it kind of seems like along the way, the goalpost of having more frequent sex has been pushed. It's been like things that are understandable, like, mental illness, stress with our other parts of our life that have kind of pushed things further out that will like lengthen it for months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been super like understanding with all that. But then a couple months ago, well, 6 months ago, she finally convinced me to get a vasectomy because that was one of the things that she was like hesitant about. She was scared to get pregnant because we were obviously, we're married, so we're not using a fucking
Yeah.
condom,
I
and
didn't
she's
get
on a birth
married to
control,
put a
so
fucking condom on.
yeah, so
Yeah.
exactly. So we're not doing any of that. So obviously she was like telling me that she was worried about getting pregnant because we've always talked about for our entire fucking relationship how we don't want kids.
Okay.
We pretty much agreed on that, the whole relationship. I've always been pretty much like 80% like, yeah, I'm definitely down with that. 20% I would maybe consider having a kid. So it's always been in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But finally I got the fucking vasectomy. Like I said, this was about 6 months ago. And in my mind, I was like, all right, we're good. No kids. And then out of nowhere, 2 weeks ago, she walks in and is like, you're gonna think I'm fucking crazy, but I want to have a kid.
Whoa. That is nuts. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So yeah. So after 6 years of pretty much being on the same page of never wanting kids and just being cool with being aunt and uncle, because we have a few
Yeah.
nieces and nephews, and we love fucking hanging out with
Yeah.
them, but we pretty much considered ourselves ready to be okay with that forever. And now out of nowhere,
Damn.
she decided that she wants to have a fucking kid.
That's nuts, dude. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I've just been kind of struggling in my mind to come up with a good fucking reason to, like, I guess just wrap my mind around how to feel about this, because I've committed my mind for so many years of our relationship to not being cool with that, and then now I'm just like, it seems like more of a rush to like jump right into this thing.
Yeah, I mean, where did this come First of all, how old are you guys? And also, where did this come from? Do you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm 33, she's 36. So obviously,
Mm.
she's getting,
Yes.
up in age as far as like the ability to have children. So I'm sure that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
But she told me that, obviously we see our nieces and nephews, and at some point she's just like, you know what, I'm scared that I'm never gonna have that, like, I want that closeness with a child at some point, and I'd never thought I would, but here I am. So I get it, but it's just out of nowhere, it's like this needs to happen like yesterday because
Right.
of her age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, is there any discuss? Like, that's the other thing. Is like, is there a discussion here? Because like, you literally. I mean, first of all, you literally got a vasectomy. I mean, I know they're reversible, but it's like, so it's not like there's like scientific proof that you were both not. You didn't want kids, right? Like, it's not even something you can
Yeah.
get gaslit about because you're like, no. I went to the fucking doctor and he cut my nuts open. You know, like I remember when we didn't want kids. Like, so
Exactly.
I get
Exactly.
why you would be like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And also, was it presented as like you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I want a kid? What do you think about it? Or is it like we have to have a kid? Like, because this has to be a thing that you discuss. There's no like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
I decided we were having kids, right? I doubt that's how she operated with it, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. No, you're
Okay.
right. Like, obviously, she was like, "What do you think?" But ultimately, after that night went along, and I was like, obviously, my first reaction was, "Are you fucking kidding?" Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know if I should take you seriously at this
Right.
point.
Right. Right.
And then she was like, "Well, yeah, I actually am serious." And I was like, I need time to
Yeah,
even
of
like
course.
process this right now. Obviously it's like it felt like a joke. So
I mean, I mean, I guess the
long
immediate question is, how do you feel about it? What I mean, because I guess there's the like knee jerk reaction of like what, but when that
yeah.
clears, like what do you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think over the past 2 weeks I've been back and forth in my mind because obviously like there are pros and cons to every fucking thing, and
Sure.
especially this. But so I've definitely been like back and forth on like there's been like a day or two where I'm like, yeah, that sounds fucking cool. I'm ready to do this. And then there's been days where like, I talk to my friends who currently have newborns and like I just hear them like yelling in the background. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I
Yeah.
can fucking do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. 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 I get it.
But so we kind of got in this little bit of a argument about it because I essentially kind of was like hinting towards her that I'd be okay with it, but then I was having some, like I said, it's still processing in my mind, so I had some insecurities and was bringing those up to her. And long story short, she kind of hinted at the fact she was like, "No matter what, I'm gonna do this, so it's with or without you."
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
It is crazy. So I mean, obviously, I love you and I want to be with you, but I don't think I was like, what do you mean you're going to do it by yourself? She was like, if I have to get a sperm donor, I will. I was like, but obviously, I want to
Whoa.
have it with you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess it matters. Like, it's tough because you don't want to like do like you don't want to like make a life decision because you feel pissed off that somebody's forcing your hand. You don't want to be like, what do you mean? Fuck. You
Yeah.
want to be like, fuck you. What the fuck? We literally said we weren't gonna have kids, and now you're like have the gun to my head that you're gonna go get fucking pregnant without me. I mean, it's not. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
really tough. I mean, honestly, this is a very tough situation because it just does come down to, do you want to do this? And if you don't, what does that mean? Because it seems like she's raised the stakes to be like, I mean, what would you like? I mean, it sounds like it's either
Yeah.
have a kid or either
Or break up.
break up or weirdly like be a stepfather to a sperm donor's child. Like,
Yeah,
like,
that's not happening.
yeah,
That's not
yeah.
happening.
So,
And I will
yeah,
I will say the other craziest edge to this to just fill it all in. Because I had the vasectomy, we are like, do I get a reversal? And we just like, have the fun route of like fucking until we have a child.
right.
But she's decided that also on top of all this, I don't even get the fun part of fucking. She wants to do IVF where we go in and basically they extract fucking sperm from my vasectomy balls
Wow.
and do it that way. So I don't even get the fun of
Yeah,
having the
yeah,
sex
yeah,
along the way.
yeah.
Not that that's the most important part, but obviously
But it is weird.
it'd
I
be
mean,
kind of fun along the
I
way.
will say it is weird because you basically have been minimized to like you have been kind of minimized to a sperm donor here. Like, it's not your decision. You don't get to fuck your wife to have a child. Like, it feels like every decision has just sort of been made. And I would feel, personally, I would feel like, I don't know, this would feel weird to me because it seems like the sort of foundation that you've been building your whole relationship on has shifted really fast in a way that could give somebody whiplash almost. It's like, but you were the woman who didn't want to have kids at all. Like, it sounds like you were the person who was 20% and she was 100% against it. And now it's like you've kind of been given an ultimatum, which is kind of crazy. And it's not been that long. It's been 2 weeks and she's like, I'm doing this one way or the other. I don't know. I would feel weird about it. Obviously, your relationship is much more complex than this phone call. But, like, it seems kind of strange to me.
One thing I will say about the IVF thing, you said she's like 36.
Yeah.
I think that's like past the point of like what's medically considered like a geriatric pregnancy. And like just in terms of like getting pregnant, it's like I don't know. She's probably like worried because even getting pregnant takes time. Like
It does. Yeah,
some
yeah.
couples like I never really knew this shit, but like really there's only like a couple days in the month that like a woman can really like that the chance is like very high of like getting pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not like,
Listen, I'm not. Of course, they might end up doing IVF, but it's like
In a way,
you don't even
in a way,
try?
in a way, IVF like might just be an easier like guarantee to make sure like you don't waste any more time because she is older.
It is.
So I don't
It
think
is.
I don't think there's like anything wrong with that really, and that might be like simpler, and you know you don't have to like reverse the vasectomy or
Yeah,
whatever, and
the
you could just have
vasectomy,
like
yeah.
sperm on deck.
Exactly.
One thing I am concerned about is you said like you guys don't have that much sex
Yeah, yeah,
already.
Exactly.
I mean that's
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, do you have like bigger stuff other than kids you need to talk about this relationship? Because I'm like, sure, start IVF and you know you guys could have sex the good old fashioned way and just have fun and not worry about it. But then it's like, you know, it sounds like you're not really having sex as much as you would like. So is there some other bigger like separate conversation there about, you know, what is the status of this relationship that you need to
Yeah,
have with her?
Yeah, and it's not just sex; it's also the way you relate. 'Cause
Right.
this is also kind of a little out of nowhere, and is this how other things get handled in your relationship? Like, hey, I know we had this consensus for 5 years, but I actually decided I don't want to live in this city. And you can either come or you can't. You know what I mean? Like, is this the way she handles other
Yeah.
shit? Because that's a big problem, I think. But anyway, yeah, answer
Pretty
Elvis's
much.
question.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, obviously could go on forever, but yeah, no, that's you pretty much got it figured out. She's, you know, I'm cool with her being the boss most of the time. Like I feel like she is a very like, you know, like dominant woman and like I'm cool with that most of the time, you know what I mean? Like we have our 50-50 sometimes, but like she wants what she wants and she's pretty much always been like that.
Right.
But yeah, getting back to the most important part, obviously like you know, just to be selfish, like obviously there's a part of me that was excited about fucking until we possibly had a child if I agreed to
Right.
this, but now it just feels so much more like permanent, like here we're gonna do this procedure and then you're gonna be pregnant. Now
Right.
it's just like, well fuck, and I don't even get the fun part.
I mean, even that in and of itself, the fact that that's such a big, that would be one. It's that's the only thing you've been excited about having a child in this whole conversation. You haven't. You've been like, yeah, I guess it'd be kind of cool, and now you're like, huh? And then you thinking about getting to fuck your wife for a month is you're like, whoa, maybe it would be worth changing my entire life just to get pussy from my wife temporarily. I mean, we have no. This is the hard thing because there's just a lot of the vibes are really fucked here. Is really my takeaway. Is that like I don't know, man. This is just like we don't want to tell you like, do you need to leave your wife because it's much more complicated than this. But like that's the only thing you've been excited about this whole phone call is maybe fucking your wife a little bit, and it's like that seems like a big problem to me.
No, I mean it definitely is. It's definitely obviously the biggest like, you know, contention in our relationship the whole time. Like I said, it sucks because she's fucking cool as shit and I love her, but
Yeah.
like that's obviously it's a big part like of interest for me, but not a big interest for her. So it's always like me just like trying to be okay with that most of the time and waiting till she's cool with it, which sucks. But I
mean,
feel
a
like
kid ain't gonna
I
help
said,
that.
the
I'll tell you that
goalpost
much.
was-
Having
Go ahead,
kids.
sorry.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, if that's a big problem for you, a kid is maybe the worst possible thing for that. You know what I mean? Like for understandable reasons.
Yeah.
Like having a kid, you're just busy, you're tired, you're like, you know, especially
Yeah.
from the woman's perspective, like it takes a real toll on your body. Like, you know, just
Yeah.
logistically. That is going to be that's just going to be an issue maybe forever from now on. And I guess really what this comes down to is what your wife wants to do. She's basically she wants to fundamentally shift the context of your relationship as you've known it and as you guys agreed to. And so I think basically what we're saying is because she wants to do this, this is what you owe it to yourself to think about. Is that something you want? Will you be happy there? And it's like you're not wrong to be like, hey, we had kind of an agreement to the point where I had a medical procedure. There were certain aspects in our relationship that I wasn't even happy about to begin with, and this is completely out of left field. And you owe it to yourself to think like, will this make me happy? If she's dead set on this and there's no compromise, and it's tough, right? Because a kid is not really you can't really you can't have half a kid. You either have a fucking kid or you don't. So it's like, you owe it to yourself to really think like, she wants to fundamentally change the relationship. Do I want to fundamentally change the relationship and like not even be in it? Is this will make me happy? That sucks, dude. I mean, it sucks. Like, that is really the takeaway from this conversation, is that like, you have to really consider this, because she is changing the whole context of what you thought your marriage was going to be. You thought you were going to be a cool aunt and uncle, and maybe you would fucking work up to, you'd basically get to have a regular relationship the whole time, and now it's like kind of shifting. Your life will change drastically if you have a kid. And that's really what it comes down to, bro. And unfortunately, we don't know the answer. You know what I mean? Like, that's only something you can know. But we will be the ones to put the idea in your head that everything should be on the table. And we're not even saying, get divorced, but we're just saying you have to be realistic about that, because she kind of has put that on the table from her end. Like, she's made it clear that what she wants out of this relationship, what she wants for her life, she has put over your marriage. She said she's going to do this one way or the other. So you kind of have to, she's introduced that idea. You have to be realistic and say, well, if that, you have to think that way too, where it's like, if this is not what you want, you have to be prepared to kind of be that extreme as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I appreciate it very much. Like I said, I know it's kind of more of a complex situation, but I just wanted to at least get that out there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's kind of wild just to try and like wrap my mind around it. And it's good just to hear outside perspective, you know what I mean? So
for sure. And listen, take this with a grain of salt too, because like, anytime there's a problem in a relationship, I run like a coward. So it's like, if I were you, with very little background, would be like, I'd be like, all right, guess I'm divorced. Whereas like, someone in a good relationship, like I'm sure me and Els have very different perspectives on this, right? Like,
I think so. I think like the question of kids in particular, like especially for women, it's like such a time sensitive thing. And how many people when they're younger are like, oh, I don't know about kids. I don't really think I want them. And then like, you just don't know what's going to like make you flip on that mindset as you get like older or something, as you see people around you start having kids. So I don't think like it's really weird. And because of like shit like IVF, I don't even think like the vasectomy is that big of a deal. But yeah, and I'll even say like, you guys have talked about, you don't really want kids, you'll be the cool aunt and uncle or whatever the hell. Like, I don't know. I think you, Stav, are making it sound like a little more drastic for this guy, because you yourself have said like, when Stav's talked about, do I want kids? He's like, oh, well, it depends. If I'm like with a girl,
no, if a girl who wanted
like,
it, I really feel that way, where I'm like, I could go either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's like,
but that's different from being in a fucking marriage where you both agree to not have kids to the point where you get your nuts chopped up. Like that, it's a little different than that.
It's a little different, but I mean, tell me if I'm reading you wrong, Hank Hill. But are you? It sounds like just from your tone and stuff, maybe you're kind of in that camp too. Like, you thought you wouldn't have kids, but now
if she brought it up earlier, you would have been down, right?
Yeah.
You sound pliable to it.
More to it.
Pliable to whatever the fuck she tells him to do in general.
Super weird to try and think about that being a reality now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say the absolute cherry on top, which is obviously, we're not like destitute by any means, but we're definitely not fucking rich. Right. And IVF is expensive as hell. So that's another thing that's like, we're like going to have to take out a loan just to even make this happen. So that's another fucked up edge to this whole story, but we can not get into that.
Yeah, no, that's a whole other element. But yeah, dude. Yeah, man, you got to you just got to fucking search deep. And unfortunately, a really like fundamental question has been dropped in your lap when you were just having a regular ass day. And then you're like, I guess I have to rethink my entire life. Like, even
exactly.
though I was looking forward to playing Switch, I was looking forward to playing a little Mario Kart. And then you're like, oh, let me think about every decision I've made that's brought me up to this moment.
I think
Exactly.
I think it is. I think you guys do need to like have a discussion more about it to see like, you know, if it makes sense for you to have a kid and you want to and stuff like that. And yeah, it's like you guys are at a point like this is like a time sensitive thing and a big life thing. Like you owe it to yourself not to like beat around the bush and just be as straightforward with her about like what
you owe it to both each other.
Yeah, you owe it to like both of yourselves. So, you know, just be like as frank as you feel about it all, and I would say like start there. And other than that, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, this is like tricky stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, thanks so much, guys. I really fucking appreciate it. I want to say that I fucking love the show. I got to see you in Minneapolis when you came through on the Dreamboat, so that was fucking
That was
sick.
a great show, yeah.
But yeah, no,
Thanks for
I
coming,
appreciate
dude.
it. Like I said, just cool to kind of hear how you guys feel about it. I trust your wise judgment, so thank you.
Yeah, we're wise as hell, man. Good luck out there, brother. We're rooting for you
Thanks
either
so
way.
much, man. Have a good one, guys.
Damn.
Tough one.
Yeah.
This also sounds like the kind of thing where it's like he's just done whatever she's wanted their whole relationship, and it's like at a certain point you're almost like, am I ever gonna take a stand? You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of that feeling too, where it's like it might be a mistake. Don't get me wrong, it might be a mistake, but it's the kind of thing where you're like, I'm tired of taking L's. So no, I don't want to do this, and which could be a problem, right? Especially with this. I'm just saying,
right.
And this is me reading into my own psychology, where I could see myself being goaded into shit like this, you know, like going kamikaze mode, basically, because
he dies on this hill when, like, theoretically, this could just be like one of a long list that he just like goes with the flow on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's tough. This is like one of those things, in like. There's certain shit you deal with that's so crazy, like, you know, you can't even like Google the problem.
No,
you can't Google, do I want to have kids or something?
This is pure soul searching for this guy. Right. All we could do is kind of like be a sounding board and like sort of untie all the elements. But yeah, he has to. It's like, do you want to completely blow up your? And you know what the real thing is? What's tough with a decision like this is like. I mean, we're dealing with a lot of existential questions here with the guy dealing with loss, where it's like life is nothing but pain over and over again. And this is the other one where it's like life is always moving forward. We all crave the ability to go back and to have security, whatever. This is a tough one because there's not even the illusion of going back to normal. This guy's blowing his life up one way or the other. Yeah. He either has a kid that he didn't expect to have, which he can't really afford, or he gets fucking divorced. Like, there's no going. Like, this guy, basically, he's on the precipice of huge change one way or the other, and that's tough, dude. Especially if you're a guy he seems kind of like a go with the flow type guy, too. Yeah. And so no one can make this decision for him. And I think that's what's very hard about this.
Well, I frame it a different way. Any radical change is a positive thing and is a form of going forward and
interesting.
Going to your next,
that's a better way to frame it.
Going to your next thing, and you know, whether it's having a kid you didn't ever think you'd have, or you know, going on to divorce number one and navigating life.
Hey, if he came to Minneapolis, it's a really nice place to live. They just elected a social democrat instead of a centrist mayor. They kind of did their own. They kind of copied off us. Kind of got their own Zoran going over there.
Yeah, there you go. He'll figure it out. Like every Stavi's World listener, he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Absolutely. Like every Patreon subscriber, he's smart and he knows what he's doing. And what's most important is that maybe even if you guys listen, if you get divorced, get her a Patreon subscription too, so she gets to listen as well.
That's a good parting gift. You know, if you bundle 1 year's subscription, you get a nice saving money, on dude. It. So you're saving that could be a nice parting gift if you get a divorce.
And just a classy show of like no hard feelings. Here's a years of Stavi's World gifted to you.
Yep.